Jim, and we head back to Arizona and Cactus League action with Kevin Acee, our Padres Insider. We are thrilled to have Kevin with us throughout this 2025 season. That includes spring training, the regular season, and hopefully postseason for the Padres as well and its fans. So, Kevin, we appreciate it, and we've been reading what you've been writing, and we've been following along here through 4 games. I guess it starts for me with Fernando Tatis Jr. and Luis Campusano. They've been out due to health, right? Like they've been battling the flu, and there's no real concern. But when do we expect to maybe see a Tatis or Campusano get into a Cactus League game? And thanks for joining.
Well, right up until, he wasn't able to really come in today and not feeling well, they were thinking that Tatis will play tomorrow. It's looking like a couple days at least. I mean, they're not going to have Tatis start. Well, I suppose they could, but probably not going to have him start Wednesday. Even if he were healthy, it's an away game. They'll wait till Thursday. Pretty sure back in Peoria on Thursday. So I would think that's the earliest for both of them. I mean, Campy's got to catch, even if it's like one inning, right? He's catching, and you want him to be at full strength. Campusano was back in camp today. Thought he was back yesterday. Didn't go. He's sick, and everyone. Michael King missed a few days. Jake Cronenworth missed a few days. Seen a lot of masks. Stephen Kolek, who's starting tomorrow, missed a few days. This has been going around.
Yeah, I was even sick last week, so it caught up to me. Here in I know.
I missed that.
But Jim hasn't missed any days now,
no
Kevin.
Days off, Kevin.
Now, also, but his radio equivalent would be like giving up 16 runs in 2/3 of an inning.
Correct.
He's been coughing and
yeah.
I must have lost like 3 lungs.
I was getting up meatballs all last week. It was not good. Just to expand on Campy there for a bit, Kevin. What's the confidence level that the organization has that he's going to turn this corner and they're going to be comfortable with him and he's not going to lose his spot in the season like he did last year to Higgy?
It's mixed, but let me ask you this. 1 to 10, what's your confidence level?
Less than a 5.
I'm just in the greater. Theirs is good. Mine is, I would say in the middle between 1 and 10. Like I'm not overly confident, but I'm not overly pessimistic. 5 or 6.
That might be where they're at. They look. There are people that still stand by them and say, seemingly earnestly that, he's 25 or I think he's 25. They say that catchers 27 is like the prime age and all that. And, there've been enough flashes and all that. And he keeps improving in these little areas, game management and concentration and all that. Look, his bat's going to be a big part of it. And what other guys do, is going to be a big part of it. I'm virtually certain he's going to break camp as like their number 2 catcher, and that's what it'll be. Look, think about the other guys they have in camp, and there's positives to all of them and drawbacks to all of them. This is not an overwhelmingly good catching core, it would not seem.
You wrote about this, Kevin, when you wrote about Campusano this weekend. Like, was there a moment that transpired late last year that becomes like a look in the mirror moment potentially where like, I never thought I'd be sent down in September for a team that's going to win 90 plus games. Now I'm not even, part of this team in the postseason. Like, is that a moment where it goes one of 2 ways and hopefully it gets him back on track?
It seems like it did. And by the way, Jeff Sanders wrote about.
I'm sorry. Did Jeff write that? Okay.
This weekend, it's like a little joke between us. I have him do the spring training story on Campy most years, just because it's been basically the same story every year, and so I just think it's kind of funny. It's like, hey, this is Campy's year. That's kind of been the story every year, right? And so there's these recurring themes in spring. I love Luis Campusano for like the try that he's given it, right? And was there a moment? It seems like there was. It seems like he owned it. And, I think that he saw that thing coming almost since June. There just wasn't anybody. And then, you know what? Look, he caught the no-hitter. He was catching. They were winning. Right. Look at his winning percentage. Like, as if, I'm just saying, like, maybe he didn't see it coming, but we all saw it coming by middle of August, and then they were able to get Diaz and pretty much a done deal. Look, I don't think Diaz is, looking great this spring. Now, again, we're going to say we're not going to get too excited about Tirso Ornelas or Oscar Gonzalez, so we can't get too down on a guy whose swing looks a little slow. But, look, this guy was DFA'd by the Rockies. I don't think it's going to be that difficult for Campy, who is come up through this system, is a favorite of AJ Preller's and others that are, a part of AJ's inner circle. I don't think it's going to be hard for Campy to get a lot of playing time and perhaps even be the number one guy at some point this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's right in front of me. He's just got to go out there and take it. Yeah. Kevin, you mentioned Tirso hit a home run today, which is nice. What's he going to have to do in camp to have real consideration to make the club out of spring training, you think?
Keep doing that, draw some walks, or at least, show that there's that capability. But show the pop and do it against some real guys. I think that, like say Wednesday, right? He goes out and he's facing some major leaguers because guys won't travel, the starters. And so his first couple times up, got to have good at bats, man. Got to show he can play a little bit in left there. So got to show he can play with sporadic at bats too. And they put him in like today, and show that he can do that because that's going to be his role. I don't see him winning the left field job. But he's going to be a guy who would be a utility guy. And, that would be great, man. It would be a success story for Padres, for player development. If he and Eggy were on this team and contributing.
So, when you say just have good at bats and continue to do what he's doing now, so if he just has like an average spring, is that going to hurt him, you think? Or does he have to kind of ball out a little bit?
Gonzalez Gavin Sheets, who also bats from the left side. There's this mix, right? Because Yuli Gurriel keep hitting. That is going to be a big part of it. I would think that Tirso is one of those guys who sort of has to step up, right? Because he's never done it.
Yeah. Kevin Acee is with us right now from Arizona and Cactus League spring training action on Jon and Jim, San Diego Sports 760. Do you believe, I'm just kind of looking for your opinion here, because AJ Preller is always struck, it could be in an off season, it could be during spring training, like with Dylan Cease or even Luis Arraez in season, but it wasn't near the trade deadline. Are you kind of waiting for a shoe to fall? Or not necessarily? Are we waiting for something of substance? Because a year ago it was like, hey, Jackson Merrill, is he going to make the team? And then there was Dylan Cease. This year, Salas DeVries, they're not making the team, and it hasn't been an overly busy offseason. So are we waiting for something of substance between now and March 27th from maybe the outside to impact this roster or not?
The answer is yes, but I don't know what it is. They say there could be another starter. The Cease rumors, and they're more than rumors, just won't go away. But I will say this, that both in the comments AJ Preller's made, there was a couple, I think were something along the lines of I think we're comfortable with where our starting pitching is. We're going to go with the strength that we have right now. And then what others are saying, in the organization that is, on background and that you're just having conversations, they seem pretty happy with their rotation and having Cease and Darvish and King at the top of it. I just feel I don't want to say they have something to answer because they could make the argument, oh, we still think we made it better, right? Or what? But I feel like this is what they're saying is their best rotation going forward. So I don't see how they trade Cease in that instance. I just don't. So look, I've been waiting for the other shoe to drop since, getting back on the beat in 2018, really. And especially since, let's say, since they signed Manny Machado and you went, whoa, things have changed here. I basically live in fear all the time.
Yeah, every day. It's like when you wake up in the morning.
Did I miss something?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I remember it was January of maybe it was January, early January maybe of 2019, and you were hearing that the Manny Machado thing more and more and all this, and I was like, what? And finally I made a call, and it turned out it was true, and I wrote it, and I said to myself, well, this is different because that turned out to be real, right?
Right.
And then every year, I remember 2021, you hear Darvish, and you're like, okay, and you check, yeah. Holy smokes. And so, yes, that's who he is. And it's as much as I just made this impassioned argument that they seem set with their rotation, I will say that I just don't see him standing pat until the start of the season. I don't know how big that move is, but I just I just don't think this is all the key players on the roster.
Do you have, I'm curious now that you said that, kind of living in fear. Is there a moment in Preller's tenure where a move of substance happened and you were, I don't know, without internet or doing a hit, or like how much time has ever elapsed where something significant happened and you were not around to catch it?
I know there has been. I probably blacked it out, right? But like that's like definitely the fear, and you're, or like, let's say you get caught up with something, and then like it happens to every guy, and you realize you haven't checked your phone,
yep,
and whatever, right?
You're right. Yep.
Oh, thank goodness there's nothing, or whatever. I'll tell you what happened this morning. I'm in the clubhouse and I'm an old man. And so like, I don't really know how the phone works. Right. And so my recent calls, the button at the top had been switched to missed rather than all calls. So everything on my screen was red.
Oh my God.
And there were some important names on there. And so just instantly I'm like, oh my goodness, what did they sell the team? Like, who did they trade for? Are Cease and Darvish still in this room? Did they like? And then I realized, oh, those are all old.
That's funny.
Like, those are like, oh, that was yesterday, 3 days ago. Okay, fine. Like, oh, look at that. I learned something new about my iPhone today.
That's hilarious.
The instant, like,
I'm 54 going on 70.
Oh yeah, no, the instant, sweat that you get that runs down your back. Like, oh my God.
When would you?
I will say this: Darvish, I was on top of. Snell, I was pretty flat-footed on. Those are, a day later, right?
Yeah.
It's like, whoa. And so, that's those are rough.
That's. I appreciate you sharing it.
I have multiple. Don't worry. Kevin.
Oh yeah, I mean, Jim sleeps. What's the best example? Jim will sleep in.
Here's what happened. So a couple years ago, when they were giving out, it was the Xander year. So 2022.
Yeah.
All right. So that offseason, Kevin, it was the year I think Manny got his extension. I think Darvish got an extension. And here in San Diego, these things happen at 8 a.m. in Arizona. So it's like, probably earlier. And I wake up to 50 text messages at 9:30, and I'm like, "What?"
It was the Manny extension.
The Manny extension. I completely missed that one.
You were 4 hours late. No joke. 4 hours had passed.
It happened at 6 a.m. here in San Diego. So early. So I'm with you there, Kevin.
And you know what? He was still extended when you woke up.
It's a great point. I mean, what does it even matter at the end of the day? I mean, what does
John
it even
made me
matter?
feel like an idiot.
I do. I try to make you feel like an idiot, but what does it really matter at the end of the day? Real quick, Kevin, before you go, I mean, we're so far out from opening day, and the way the Padres are with. I mean, when it comes to an opening day starter, speaking of things that don't matter, they're all going to start throughout the course of the year. But is it just kind of a King Cease? I mean, are those the two that are possible? Is Yu Darvish a possibility in your mind? How do you see it shake out?
Michael King's not going anywhere. That's been seen for about a month that Michael King's not going anywhere.
Well, right.
So, no, I'm sorry, but if I'm like an opening day starter.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Again, old man can't do things at once. Not to say that I didn't get a text in the middle of that, and I needed to check it because it was very important. But I'm just saying, opening day, very interesting. I can't get away from how much AJ Preller loves Darvish, how much Darvish has done for this organization. I can't get away from that. I don't think he should be, as in, I mean, I love Darvish. I'm just saying, I don't think that it merits it, right? If you're going on what happened last year, right? Which is generally an argument. So I'm with you, King or Cease.
Yeah.
Had I, and then I'm like, even though I would argue, not to the death, but I would argue King had a better year than Cease. Cease did have the no-hitter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can't go wrong, and they're all going to start.
So Stephen Cole doesn't have a shot?
Yeah, Stephen Cole. Kyle Hart, opening day.
Yeah.
Kevin, appreciate it. Get back to your missed calls on the iPhone, and we'll do it Wednesday.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Kevin. Kevin Acee from Peoria. We'll react on the other side. We're here until 6.
He said he had a very important text.
He's a B-Rod. I mean, he gets texts every day. I wish he would share them. He should forward every text he gets to us.
Yes.
So we'd have a little more insight heading into the conversations. All right, we'll react to that on the other side here until 6. Jon and Jim.